Getting profiled by the police. What would I know about that, right? Wrong. You're about to find out. So this was one of the most memorable times. Definitely not the only time, but the most memorable time where I kind of had to like learn how to handle this the right way, okay? Because I couldn't do like what I did. So this takes place when I was 15 years old. Just to paint you a little picture, I was in an outpatient rehab facility that I had to spend a bunch of time at, and like that'll be a whole nother like story. But like don't send your kids to rehab when they're kids. Like it's not a good idea. Okay, so that's a whole nother bag of worms to jump into. Okay, but I just say that because like you'll see why. So when this took place, like I was like getting like urinalysis going to that were going to like a laboratory, like you know, I was in this programming, but I was still, out and about trying to, hang out with my friends, do whatever, blah blah blah. A lot of things were changing for me, schools and all this type of stuff. Like there's just a lot of stuff going on. Okay, so this was around Thanksgiving, and I can remember that because I went to like a Thanksgiving like meal, and it was with like a side of the family that is just very hard to deal with, and like I knew it was gonna be like that. Like I've just like there's people on that side that have just they've wished me some very like not cool things and stuff, considering they're like my family, whatever. So like that day happens, and I remember, I have a flip phone, like no iPhones or anything. Like I've like, got my flip phone, and I'm like trying to coordinate with somebody that I wanted to come back, and I just wanted to smoke a cigarette. Just wanted to smoke a cigarette. Like didn't want the world. Like that was just something that was on my mind that it was just one of those days, was frustrated. So I was talking to my friend Shane. I was either talking to my friend Shane or my friend Alyssa. They both showed up. I don't remember which one I was in contact with. Okay. I had a book of matches on me, and that's it. Like at the time, I probably wore like tight like crew pants and like some like whatever. I wore my hood like a lot of places. So what? Like it was nighttime, so I like I get home and it's dark, but it's not, like curfew was never a thing for me. Fortunately for this night, it was a lot earlier, but like curfew, like there was plenty of times where we were out. I lived across the street from a park, so we'd be out at the park at like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, like lighting off fireworks, setting stuff on fire, smoking cigarettes, like just like all types of stuff. Like, I think it was because my parents were from like a different state. Like they just didn't understand like curfew was like a real like thing. But I never even came close to a curfew ticket or anything. But there were situations. So getting to that. So this night it was early, but it was dark. So I went out. They were like, "All right, meet us over." I can name it. I met him at Delamo Liquor. This place, notorious for selling to minors. They sold to me for like 2 years when I was like 15, all the way until I was 18. Um, they were just notorious for doing that. Okay, it's not there anymore. So they were at like a party, and they were like, "Yeah, yeah, come meet us on this corner." I was like, "All right, cool." So I met them on the corner right where like it's a really unfortunate little spot. Like it's not big. It's not a big like spot. But the other time that I have some police contact, whereas the first time that I went like through the like court system as a juvenile, it was literally the exact same spot. So it's kind of weird. And yeah, so this is at nighttime though. It was probably like 7:30, probably like 7:30 o'clock, or like close around 8, but before 8. So I go and I meet him over there, and I'll remember this. Like I'll never forget. They came across the street, and we were hanging out right on the side of the liquor store, and one of them had a 211. And if you know it's up, or not if you know it's up, but the Steel Reserve 211. I was like really big, like where I was from. I'm not a big drinker, but like that's kind of like what everybody would be drinking for like cheap, whatever. So one of them had a tall can of 211, right? Whatever. I was there to smoke a cigarette, whatever, do your thing. So we're on the side of this like liquor store that's just like, it's not in like a, like there is a little alley behind it, but we're like, we're not in some alley, whatever. We're not hiding from anybody. We're just like right there. Just, you can see the intersection. So I meet up with them, and we're just like right there, and I was talking to them, and we didn't go to the same, I was kind of just, they were asking me how I was and was just kind of explaining stuff. We hadn't even met up for 5 minutes. Like it was very, very short lived. So, which makes me think, I don't know how long these fools are following me for or what, but we meet up and we're talking, and like 2 minutes later, all of a sudden I hear boop boop, and a police car like does like a U-turn right there on the street and pulls into the like parking lot. So the police car is right there, I'm standing right there, and my friend Shane is right there, and my friend Alyssa is right there. Okay. For some reason, and you can ask them about this, the cops, they didn't really pay attention to them. Like, and I didn't give them a super like big reason to pay attention to me until it was already like happening. But like in the meantime, it was crazy. Like imagine being with two other people and the cops showing up and they only care about you. Like that's what happened. So like they're like literally telling them like, oh, can you stand back, like instructing them to stand back. So I get like there was only two cops, but like I got like kind of like swarmed up on by this one cop, and he puts my hands behind my back, and I'll remember this to the day that I die. He was holding my hands behind my back, and he says, your hands are mighty cold, huh? From holding that beer, huh? Because that was like their main thing. That was like the main thing that they were tripping on was the or the open container. So like I just like that really like made me mad, and like I just said to him like after he said that, like I was kind of like in shock of just like this motherfucker, man. And I just told them, I was like honestly, I was like, if anything, I would be smoking weed or I'd be taking pills right now, but I'm not. And then we kind of had a little back and forth, like, and we kept going. Like he maybe was like, what did you say? And then I like said it again more clearly, and then he says to me, you better show me some goddamn respect. I'm not Mr. Egan. I'm not your high school principal. And it was just not the best person to reference in that conversation, because like I had already been like expelled from that school, and that guy like specifically, like I never liked him. Nobody did, and he tried to like shake my hand. One of the last memories I have is this fool trying to shake my hand when I was like leaving, and I like smacked his hand out of the like. It was just such a, I wasn't trying to have any of that. So when he says that, I just like played on that, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, I don't care about Mr. Egan. I got kicked out of that school. And then like I was just being like the person that you don't want to be, like just making things hard and whatever, of just like, it was just the perfect things to say to set me up. It was almost like he knew or something. I don't know. Like I'm not saying he did, but he just said things that were very like triggering to me, I guess. So like I just was going off. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, you could talk to him. I don't care. And it turned into the whole thing. And I'll never forget this. This guy's name was Officer Hassel. Who knows what happened to him? I don't fucking know. His name was Officer Hassel. Okay. And they keep me there on this. They let the other people go. My friend Shane and Alyssa let them go. I end up having to stay there. And at the time where this happened at, I could have biked home in less than 10 minutes. Closer to 5 minutes for sure. I probably could have like literally biked home if I got all greens and whatever in like 5 minutes. But like let's say 10. That's how far away I was. They kept me for so long that they were threatening me with a curfew ticket if I couldn't get, like, because they kept saying like that I needed to get somebody to pick me up, and I didn't have anybody who had a car. Like, I didn't know anybody who had a car at the time. So they're like saying like, "Oh, well, you better find somebody with a car, otherwise you're getting a curfew ticket." So they held me there for that long. Like that, like it was done. Like, it happened and whatever. And then like I know now to say yes, sir, no, sir, yes. Like I get it now. I learned from that. Thankfully, it happened early on enough, but still, this was not a comfortable situation at all. So eventually, I ended up having to call. I finally got someone. I think I got my mom to come and pick me up, and it was like so awkward to fit my bike into this car. I had never once had fit my bike in that car before, so that's why it was extra like awkward. But like I remember like putting it back there and just like it just felt so unnecessary because I lived so close, and the only reason I was still there was because of them. And I antagonized them a bit, whatever, but like it didn't have to take that long. And the way that the other people there could have had whatever on them, could have been in whatever state, had whatever on them. Everything got a turn. All the attention was turned to me, and it was all over like alcohol, which like it's cool if you like everybody does it and everything, whatever. But it was just something that I just was like, man, of all things, like this, like really, like it was just hard for me to like swallow that pill and not like say something about it when I was getting painted for that. Like, because I wasn't about to get like a minor in possession. Like, I already had one of those at that time. Already was going through that in the juvenile court system that worked out. But like, I wasn't trying to get minor in possession of alcohol. That's way worse. Way worse. I was already dealing with the tobacco side of that. So, anyways, that's just one of the many times getting profiled. Like, call it what you want. Like, I've dealt with the gang unit, like maybe more times than someone who's like an actual gang member. I don't know, but like I definitely have dealt with them. Just like things that are just so unnecessarily stupid, but that's how it happened. That's what happened, and it was just like that. So, you know, call it what you want. It was what it was. So, hopefully you got a little kick out of that story. I know it wasn't the craziest one ever, but that's just one thing. I'm trying to keep these short so I don't go on and on and on, because all my stuff, like, man, I just got to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. So hopefully you guys like this, and I'll always stay coming back with more stories. So you guys continue to have a good one, and I will see you later.